150, 160. He's gone.
What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a cheap welding table. It's a project I've had kind of on and off my mind for a long time, and as I get more into fabrication, it's really become evident to have a nice flat even work surface become kind of a requirement. The biggest problem with welding tables is that they are in fact extremely expensive. If you're just buying materials and you want a nice good 3/8 or 1/2 inch top plus solid framing and casters, you're gonna end up spending close to $300 for like a 4x4 or 4x3 welding table. So I've been carefully perusing the drop section at my local metal supply, and all the metal supplies are different. The ones we have here in Austin, there's 2 of them. One primarily does commercial stuff. They don't really have a whole lot of drop. But the other one is a smaller mom and pop type place, and they have a very large drop section, and I very much like to go there to buy steel. And I actually got everything that we need to build the frame and start on the tabletop today for $30 at Westbrook. The conclusion that I came to was I wanted a solid frame, but I wanted a modular top in the sense that I could be able to remove parts of the top to drop a part through, because I do a lot of automotive work, so it's not necessarily the same style table you'd want for if you're a general fabricator, right? It's there's different styles of tables. I wanted the modular design. I wanted to be able to remove pieces altogether if I need to drop an A-arm through it or something like that to get the shape that I need. That's the plan for today. I didn't buy all of the tabletop, but I did buy several long 1/2 inch by 4 inch pieces. So we're going to start working on the tabletop, get everything drilled and tapped, and that's just going to be it for this video. And then eventually I'll go out and find either scrap, or I'll just bite the bullet and buy bar stock to finish out making the rest of the tabletop. But at least with this, I'll be able to lay longer pieces down and get them squared up and welded. Now, the overall dimensions for the table are going to be 3 feet by 4 feet. It's going to fit nicely in the corner of my garage here. I don't need a huge table, but I do need it to be mobile. Every leg is going to get one of these. It's a caster. They're rated for 225 pounds a piece, so the total rating is almost 1,000 pounds. Other than that, the next step, I already got everything marked out. The way I like to do things procedurally is I'll come up with the design in my head, I'll put it down on paper, and then I put together what's called a cut list. Cut list is going to have all the parts I need to cut on it, and so I did that, and now I've laid all those cuts out on the steel that I bought. So the next step is for us to get out Mr. Chop Saw and just basically start hacking stuff down. The smoothest surface I have is actually the concrete here in the garage, so eventually we're going to move some stuff around, and we're actually going to weld the main frame out on the flat surface of the ground. I really hate welding on the ground, but this is the flattest thing I have. So at this point, there's nothing to do but to get through it, and hope you guys enjoy this video.
Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this channel, and you might ask, what are you using channel for, Max? Well, the front runner and the rear runner on the wide side, basically, are going to be made out of this channel instead of 2x2, and the reason for that is this channel is a little over a 1/4 of an inch thick. I think it's 3/8 inch here in the middle. Also, channel is extremely level because it has a certain amount of structural rigidity on its own, right? It's not just a flat piece of bar stock. So it's going to give a good heft and a good strength to our table. Now, this is 4-inch channel. It's probably an inch or an inch and a half deep. And so it's going to be really going to put a strain on our chop saw. There we go. Got all of our little braces welded in. I think that one actually got tacked in a little high, but because it's a welding table, I don't really care that much. So I think we're actually going to stick weld the rest of this together. I've never done a whole lot of stick welding, but it seems like a good way to go quickly. And again, this is not a project where I really care what the welds look like, as long as they hold. And so while I got this here, I'm going to go ahead and do all of that, get everything finished, welded out. Now, I've said this before on this channel, anything that's zinc coated like this, you always want to wear a full respirator if you're going to grind or weld on it, because the vapors put off by the zinc are super duper toxic. And so we're just going to grind this off so we can weld to it, and then we're going to weld it onto the bottom of our table. Well, the frame is all put together, and so now we can begin working on the tabletop itself. And these are a few pieces I got with the scrap. It's 1/2 inch bar stock. Obviously we're going to have to buy more to fill up the table. And what we're going to do is we're going to drill a bunch of holes in here. So I went through and drilled all these holes, and the way this is going to work is basically the bolt will come through here from the underside, and then we're going to drill and tap holes in this because this is 1/2 inch, this is thicker than this part right here. We're going to drill tap holes and basically you'll bolt the pieces on from the bottom. And like I said, I only have 2 of these pieces, and we're going to cut them into 38 inches. That way I can have 2 inches on each side of overlap, And then eventually I'm going to buy some more steel that's going to go in the middle. I might just spend the money and buy, they sell this 1/2-inch bar stock, 12 inches wide. I can get 3 good pieces out of that, and I'll have a nice solid tabletop in the middle. Next thing we're going to do is drill and tap the first hole, and then we're going to mount it in there on the bolt so that we can mark off the second hole, making it a little easier. This is what I bought. My Harbor Freight tap set is pretty garbage, so I went out and bought the right drill and tap combo. This was about $7, I think. And so we're going to do it 10mm 1.5 pitch. It comes with the correct drill bit, which we're going to put in there and drill out the larger hole, and then we're just going to tap it. Now, for whatever reason, a lot of people don't like to do this or are scared of it or whatever, but having a good tap and a good tap holder is really all you need. You want to make sure everything is lubricated, and then once you just kind of get started, you know, you want to go and turn, you know, do like maybe that much, and then back it out a little bit, and then start going into it again. You know, turn, and then back out a 1/2 step, and then start going back into it. And just keep doing this until you work your way all the way through the material. The key to doing a really good tap job is having a good tap handle. And I don't have a good tap handle, which is why I'm using this socket and this little 1/4 drive ratchet to tap this, because this is literally the best thing I have. And I really need to go and buy like a proper American-made tap handle. Remember, you want to make sure you tap all the way through it, because those first initial few cutting threads are tapered, and so they're not gonna do enough. You have to make sure it's all the way through. So you can see I marked right there on the bolt. We're going to measure and see just how long of a bolt we're going to need. And based on this, we need something right around 19 millimeters. And so there's actually 18mm bolts. That's pretty standard, so I think that's probably what I'm going to end up ordering. And I'm going to end up ordering hex head ones, so it makes it easier to get underneath. They have a bigger head. You can screw them in by hand, then you can tighten them real quick. So 18mm bolts. As far as this is concerned, I got both of these drilled and tapped. We can set these aside. I'm going to go over everything with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and then all we got to do is clean up, put the tarp down, and start spraying this bitch with bed liner. Okay, there we go. The table is all cleaned up. And now we're ready to spray it down. And the stuff we're using is this truck bed liner. I have 3 half-empty cans. It's probably not going to be enough. I'm probably going to have to go buy more tomorrow and finish up painting. We're going to do our best to get as even coverage as we can for now, and I'll just give it one good once over tomorrow once I buy a couple more cans of this stuff. It's really useful to have. I covered my welding cart with this stuff, and it works really, really well. It's really tough considering it's like $8 or $9 a can, and the cans last pretty well. You can see I moved everything of value away from here. It tends to get on everything. So we're just going to be real careful and spray everything down. And I'll pop a garage door here in a second to get a little bit more ventilation in. There we go. There's our completed table. Obviously, I'm gonna have to cut some more and buy some more of these metal pieces and some more bolts and stuff. But overall, I'm really happy. I really like how light it is, how easily it rolls around, and it is the perfect height. So let me sit you guys down. Here's me on my stool, and I can sit here and I can TIG, and if I need to get up over something, it's really easy because I can get up here and work on this. And this 1/2-inch steel, I mean, it's on there really solidly. So, really happy with this project. What you see here is $30 worth of steel and probably another $20 worth of casters and a $10 can of bed liner. So, considering I spent, you know, less than 50 bucks or maybe around 50, 60 bucks, I'm really happy with the product that we produced here. So, that's it. Make sure you follow MaksWerks on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button if you love what you see. And check me out on Facebook at Facebook /MaksWerks. And that's it, guys. I'm looking forward to doing a lot of projects on this. Peace.